What's up, everybody? Cinephile Mike is here, and it is episode 3 of Oscar Rewind, season 2. My bi-weekly series of videos dropping every Tuesday and Friday where I revisit films that reflect the work of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. I dig deep into those IMDb profiles, and my hope is that you will discover, a new, older favorite, or maybe revisit something you haven't seen in a while. As always, I'll be discussing the Oscar connection, awards history for the film, the box office information, the critical response, and as always, these reviews will be spoiler free. Before I jump in, do me a favor, quick plug. Click that subscribe button, like the video. You definitely want to be a part of the cinematic goodness that's coming. We are really moving along now. So, given that my first 2 episodes were focused on producers, well, amongst other categories, I have decided that the rest of March and April, as I move through this season of Rewind, will be dedicated to the producers of this year's Best Picture nominees. So I'll have several more nominated producers this month and a half, roughly. I may not hit every single individual producer, but I will make sure to highlight at least one from each nominated film. And today I'm going to wrap up the producer winning trifecta of Anora with A24's Red Rocket. Co-written by Sean Baker and Chris Bergach and directed by Baker, the film was released in the winter of 2021. So we're not digging too far back here, but we are going back. Red Rocket, during its theatrical run, made $1,023,086 domestically, with an additional $1,292,918 internationally, for a worldwide total of $2,316,004. Critically, the film certified fresh on both sides. 209 reviews are currently giving it a 90% critical rating and a 76% popcorn meter score culled from over 500 audience reviews. Now, as for wrapping up the producer trifecta that I referenced, I've already discussed Baker with Takeout and Samantha Kwan with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and so now we have the third winning producer of Anora, Alex Coco. Now, yes, you may say, well, couldn't you have done Red Rocket to kind of cover all three? Because Kwan and Baker produced this along with Alex Coco. Yes, I could have. But I felt that each deserved their own. I mean, they did win that big prize, and especially Coco on this one, because in addition to being a producer on the film, in that true, independent film spirit, he also served as the first assistant director, the location manager, the precision stunt driver, and the post production supervisor. Lots of jobs here. Now, award season wise, among the dozen wins and 3 dozen additional nods that Red Rocket received, some of the standouts include a nomination for the Palme d'Or at Cannes, the film that Anora won this past season, a win for the film's lead, Simon Rex, at the Independent Film Awards in the male lead category, and they also nominated the film for Best Supporting Female for Suzanne Sun and their performance. The film had 3 nominations at the Gotham Awards: Best Screenplay for Baker and Bergach, Outstanding Lead Performance for Rex, and Breakthrough Performer for Sun. And the National Board of Review did name Red Rocket one of the top films of 2021. So, what's it about? Well, Red Rocket is the story of Mikey Davies, played by Simon Rex. Now, he spent the last 17 years or so working as an adult film star in Los Angeles, going by the name of Mikey Saber. Millions of views, but not really having the career anymore, he returns home to Texas City, Texas to figure out his next moves. He shows up on the doorstep of his estranged wife, Lexi's house, Lexi played by Brie Elrod, and his mother-in-law, Lil, played by Brenda Deas. Now, at first, Lil and Lexi want nothing to do with Mikey. Unless he's willing to, chip in, then he can stay. Now, unable to get some traditional work, given the prior adult film career, he has no other option but to make money, but by going back to selling marijuana for friend and neighbor Leandria, played by Judy Hill, and her daughter June, played by Brittany Rodriguez. Another, as we know Baker does, Brittany Rodriguez pops up in Anora as the bouncer at the club HQ. He likes to work with the same people over and over. Side note. Slowly, Mikey begins to make some money and build a life for himself. He sort of fixes things with his wife. He forges a friendship with his neighbor Lonnie, played by Ethan Darbone, who actually used to be babysat by his wife back in the day. And now, they go by the days. They enjoy driving around in Lonnie's ride. And he proves to Leandria that he's actually able to, make the money, sell the product, not just use it himself. And of course, as things start to somewhat become normal, on a trip to the Donut Hole, the local popular place in Texas City, Mikey takes Lil and Lexi, but he becomes infatuated with the counter girl, Rayleigh, played by Susanna Sun, who goes by the name Strawberry. And worth mentioning, this character, not the actress, is only 17 years old, getting ready to go into their senior year of high school. Now, Mikey steals her away from her boyfriend, Nash, played by Parker Bigham, and Mikey and Strawberry begin a relationship. Interesting May December in many ways. Now she learns that he was an adult film star, but this only fascinates Strawberry even more, wanting to actually have, his life. And so Mikey will now go on living two lives, one with his wife Lexi and one with his girlfriend Strawberry, who has no idea that he's married and has this whole other life. And, he kind of moves on and thinks, hey, maybe Strawberry is my way back. I can help her get that career in the industry. That's my homecoming ticket to go back to LA. Here's my life plan. But is it that simple? This film is yet another chapter of Baker crafting a story of the everyday person. And as in many of his other, films, especially the recent ones, Honora, Red Rocket, Florida Project, Tangerine. He looks at those that are in the adult industry and then fills the screen with some, one or two names of people who have careers, but otherwise he utilizes real people, actors that are early, just burgeoning. If he sees you on the street, he might say, hey, I like your look. Hey, I like your voice. I want you to audition for this project. He uses a lot of unknowns. And also, oftentimes, sometimes those with limited resumes. I mean, in this one, Simon Rex, predominantly for me, I only knew him from the Scary Movie parody franchise with Anna Faris. He was in two of the films, but here, seeing him step into the leading role of this dramedy, he actually shows some real chops and is able to carry this film on his own. His character, in some ways, it's very simple and unlikable character, but he pulls off this certain swagger that almost, not quite, almost makes you feel sorry for him and root for him entirely. And I have to say, the supporting players, Sun, Deus, Rodriguez, Hill, Darbone, they really do excellent jobs in their respective roles. Baker giving us this slice of, Texas town life. Maybe the film at times, this one runs about 2 hours and 20 minutes. It runs a little long in pockets. There are some side plots that get a little repetitive, but it doesn't take away from the story that's being told. And as the film moves into the third act, you know, a little bit, they kind of try to resolve a few things a little too quickly. And, some people may argue that the ending is a little too ambiguous, which is something that Baker is kind of known for. Um, but hey, isn't that like real life? We don't all get a happy ending at a point. We all kind of go through events, we're thrown things, and then we have to figure out the next move. And so that's what we're left with. But Mikey's journey is definitely an interesting one to go on. Now, let me talk a little bit about Coco, the reason I'm here. You know, hats off to him. He fulfilled all of his roles well. This is a solidly made film. And I will say, as a location manager, he really dug into the town where they were. You get the feel that the town, the houses, the crampedness. You really see like Lexi and Lil and Lonnie and Leandria's homes. They're almost in the middle of nowhere. And you get that small town feel. The donut shop where Strawberry and Mikey meet, those scenes play out. The donut shop is so vibrantly colored, even more so than this donut that you see in this poster, that it seems to glow in its neon color scheme against the darkness that we're going to start to see inevitably play out. Red Rocket at the time was the second, when I saw it, was the second Sean Baker film I had seen after the Florida Project. Between those two, I have to say, and Honora, and now that I've seen Takeout, he's actually becoming one of my favorite directors to watch, and I actually want to kind of go through his entire filmography, which is something I'm gonna try to do. Look, his films, this one included. What's interesting about these, once is not usually enough. They actually warrant rewatches because he has a lot of subtle nuances in character and plot. And, pay attention to the background characters. Sometimes the things they do are very entertaining, and we miss that because of the action we're given. So he's a fascinating filmmaker in that respect. So, in all, Red Rocket is a solid 4-star film for me with solid performances at its core. Now, if you would like to watch Red Rocket, it's actually current streaming for free with commercials on Tubi and Pluto TV. So, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Oscar Rewind. We are just getting started with the Best Picture Rewind nominees. So, I've covered Anora. So I have 9 more of the 10 Best Picture nominees to go. If you like what you heard here, please click that button, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this or other films you want to hear about. There's a lot of nominees. Let me know who you want to hear about. What films do you want to hear about? You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd. Find lots of great additional content on my website, cinephilemike.com. All right. Happy watching, everyone. And until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.